It took me 20 years working jobs that I knew weren't right for me to get up the courage to leave the corporate world behind and chase a career in music. For most of my life, I was doing what a lot of people do. I was doing what they told us to do. I worked, I paid bills, I hung out in boring meetings. You know the drill. And while I'd played music my entire life, it gradually fell by the wayside as I focused on building a career and building a family. I'd spent years writing rock music and learning instruments like the guitar and the drums, but I kept running into the same problems. I wasn't in a band and I didn't want to start a band. I'm not very good at writing lyrics. And I found myself stuck. I was unmotivated, I was unhappy, and I didn't think this was really going anywhere. But no matter what life threw at me, I knew I still wanted to be creative. I just wasn't sure what that next step looked like. But one moment, everything started to change for me. When I was growing up, I never listened to electronic music. I grew up in the 90s with bands like Weezer and Goldfinger and Soundgarden. And I'm ashamed to say, I didn't really see electronic music as real music. But that all changed a few Christmases ago when my wife, on a whim, gave me a Pioneer DDJ Flex 4 for Christmas. Rock music hadn't been working out very well, so I decided to give dance music a chance. And when I first started exploring my Flex 4 controller, I had no idea what I was in for. I didn't know anything about DJing, I didn't know anything about electronic music, and I was already in the middle of trying to figure out what my next career was going to be. So starting something completely new, honestly, I was terrified. Even though I'd been in the tech world for 20 years, I was still a musician, and so concepts like phrasing and song structure and key signatures, these were all very, very familiar for me. The hard part was something else, and if you're over 30, there's a chance that you know what I'm talking about. The world of electronic dance music is huge. And you don't just discover it one day and the next day you've got it all mapped out. For someone like me with no prior knowledge in this world, it's like falling into a massive rabbit hole. But I'm also a very curious person, so it was exciting at the same time. And it didn't take me too long to work out the main genres, right? The differences between house and techno and hip hop and drum and bass. But then I started hearing about Afro house or Jackin' house or tropical house, dub techno, electronica, left field, all these things that were mixtures of other things. It got overwhelming fast, and there were many, many times that I just felt like an old dude in his 40s who was never going to find a place in this world. But at the same time, I felt like a kid in the candy store. Every week, I was discovering new sounds I'd never heard, artists I'd never heard, producers I'd never heard, DJs who were putting songs together in sets that you would never think would be able to work, whole communities that I never knew existed. And this turned out to be the key for me. That's what really hooked me. Not just the music, but so many people doing so many amazing things. It's honestly inspiring. For the first time, I didn't feel like I had to fit into a box or do things a certain way. I saw so many people building communities and audiences and fan bases, making the kind of music that they love and that they want to make. And I knew that that's what I wanted to do too. There's a real sense of community, and whether it's someone leaving a comment, sharing some advice, or sending a voice note through DMs, even just liking a post, that encourages people to keep going. Those little interactions matter a lot, especially when you're starting from zero. And the more I got involved, the more I learned about it, the more I became interested and started really to fall in love with DJing and with dance music and with music production. Now, house music is my center of gravity. I really love, especially the groovier, funkier stuff where you hear guitars and horns, but I also love just classic, soulful house. And I started to get into music production. Even though I had a background as a musician, producing music 100% on my computer was very, very new to me, but it was exciting. It fit well into my lifestyle of having a family, having lots of responsibilities. Being able to pull out a laptop and start making a song, that is very, very appealing to me. So I made a commitment to make 100 songs in 100 days and really, really learn how to produce dance music on a computer. I've learned a lot in the year and a half since I started doing this, and I want to start telling my story and sharing my journey in public because I know I'm not the only one working a job that they know isn't right for them, and I want to show you that you can do this too. As someone who got started in their 40s, these are the 3 lessons that stand out above everything else. Number 1, time and consistency beat everything else. The biggest thing I've learned is that there are no shortcuts. If you want to build something meaningful in music, and I'd probably say in any creative career, you need to keep showing up. You have to make things. You have to share those things. You have to learn from others. You have to grow and improve yourself, and you have to do all of these things for years before you can reasonably expect any meaningful attention to come your way. And it might not come. There are no guarantees in any industry, and definitely not the creative ones. What matters is that you keep showing up, you stay consistent, and you stay focused on your goals and your journey. Most people underestimate how long creative careers take to build, and because of that, they quit way too early. That's why I'm doing this in public. I want you to keep going, even if it's just one small step every day. Lesson number 2, and this is probably the harshest one, but it's very, very freeing. A lot of people build their plans around one future event, whether that's getting signed to a label, getting a specific number of followers on social media, or being booked at some festival. The problem with all this is that you're putting your future in someone else's hands, and you're almost definitely going to be disappointed. What I've learned is that you have to work as if no one will ever help you. You have to take full responsibility for your career, especially early on. And the reason why is simple. If you don't believe in your career, why should anyone else? And ironically, it's once you stop waiting for other people to take action and start taking ownership yourself, that's when opportunities frequently do start to pop up. Lesson number 3, this is still way better than sitting in corporate meetings. I love what I'm doing, but not every day is going to be amazing. Not everything you do is going to be fun. There are frustrating days. There are unproductive days. There are just straight up bad days. Days where your content doesn't go the way you want it to. Days where the song doesn't come out the way you thought it was. You've done everything you're supposed to do. It's just not clicking. You know what? Even on my worst day working on music, still better than my best day in a corporate job. So don't let those days get to you. Keep making music. Little bonus lesson here, celebrate milestones. Remember, we're all on our own journey. Comparing yourself to other folks is the easiest way to get demoralized. So even though there are people out there with 100 million plus Instagram followers, I recently crossed over 600, and that is huge for me. Not just because of the number. In fact, the number itself is not even that important. It's that we're finding a community and we're building a community, and a lot of them are people just like me. People who started later, people balancing careers, family ambitions, responsibilities, creativity, people trying to build something from scratch. And that's been one of the most encouraging discoveries. There are way more of us out there than you think. So right now, my focus is shifting as I start seeing this as a career rather than a hobby or just another thing that I sometimes do. Starting to work on releasing original music later this year, continuing to build an audience online, and I want to start doing some live performances next summer. That's the next chapter from where I sit right now. But honestly, I don't know if that's how it's going to all work out. I've stopped worrying so much about having every step mapped out because I've learned that progress comes from taking the next step, not understanding the entire journey from the beginning. So if you're watching this and you think you're too old to start, you're not. Is it going to take longer than you'd like it to? Absolutely. Will it be difficult? No question about it. But honestly, it's not any different when you're in your 20s. And here's the best news of all. When you're a little older, you've usually developed something young people are still learning. Patience, resilience, the ability to stick with something even when the results aren't immediately. And those skills pay off huge in music and in creative careers. You don't have to figure everything out in the first month, and you're not going to, so don't put that kind of pressure on yourself. Just take one step towards your goal every single day. That's what I did. 2 years ago, I was 41 years old, opening a DJ controller for the first time and not knowing anything about dance music. Now I'm building a career around electronic dance music, and I'm doing it in public so you know you can too. If you're doing something similar, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. If you'd like to follow on the journey, make sure to like and subscribe, and go check out my Instagram, ajmarshall.xyz, where I post daily about my journey to become a dance music producer and DJ. Remember, you can do this one small step at a time. See you in the next one.